Devin Pike at the Digital Village at the 2012 Dallas International Film Festival. And one of the highlights on the schedule for me personally, and for a lot of people who grew up in Dallas in the 80s, and actually a lot of people who appeared in the movie Robocop, are going to be heading to the Texas Theater tonight for the 25th anniversary cast and crew reunion. A lot of the folks who put the film together are here. Peter Weller and his adorable child, and the lovely Angie Bolling, who joins us now. Angie, how are you doing?
Thank you. I'm doing great. I'm having a great time.
Talk a little bit about, we're going to jump around in time a little bit.
Sure.
Talk about a couple of nights ago, you're on the D front row stage with Peter and that adorable child.
Yes, little Teddy.
Did the child try to eat you like he does everything else?
He's adorable. I mean, he's just so cute. And I got to hold him last night at the honors dinner and show him around. You know, we were
You were
calling him
hoisting him up
I
like
know.
the Lion King or something.
We were calling him Robo Baby. He's adorable. He's so good. It's great.
As a Dallas actress, what was it like to be cast in albeit a minor role, but a very pivotal part, where Frank Murphy decides that he wants to find out his past, wants to find out what happened with his family, goes back to his family home. Talk a little bit about the casting process on that. Was it just, oh, she's local, she's not union, we can use her just fine?
Well, the story is that there was someone lined up to play that part who was in from L.A. I was talking to Peter about that the other night. He says, I didn't know that. And I said, well, you know, maybe you forgot. But I never really knew who it was or if it really what did happen. All I know is that they had a last-minute casting in Dallas, and several local actresses went in. But I think they couldn't use that actress from L.A. because she had to go back to LA to do her work. But anyway, we went in and we had this casting, and the thing that was different about it as a film casting is that we were looking straight into the camera and we were saying these lines in the camera. Well, this is kind of strange. I mean, you do this on a commercial, but you're smiling and you're selling a product, and this was really different. And we didn't know much about the movie or what it was, and then I ended up getting cast, and it's just one of the probably one of the luckiest things that's ever happened, because like you say, even though it was like a small role, it was a pivotal role and people remember it. I mean, I've been with the Kim Dawson agency in Dallas for 30 years now. I'm celebrating my 30th year.
Congratulations.
And I do a lot.
But you're 29. How is that possible?
Yeah, well, you know, you got started really early. But, you know, I do a lot of commercials and industrial films and voiceover. I do everything there is to do in a market like this. And then, of course, most people who live in Dallas aren't in the business. And so when I meet new people and say, what do you do? I say, well, I'm an actress. I'm like, well, I've never seen anything. What have you done? You know, because most people's idea of an actor is a struggling theater actor or a celebrity. But there are a lot of working actors who do the same kind of work I do. And I always can say to them, have you ever heard of Robocop?
It's a good bullet point.
Well, it's just a good bullet point, but it's a brand recognition, and they immediately can go there, and if they haven't seen the movie, they know about it, and so it's kind of a good starting point, conversation starter for me.
Did you have a chance to hang around the set when they're doing principal photography? Because I know they shot yours as second unit out in the suburbs.
Yeah, we were on a second unit, but we were also on a first unit too, because there was Peter and I were actually on the set together for some of it, because he's in the scene with us.
Fun. Yeah.
And so we did that, but then we did some second unit too. And then in the second one, we had scenes together because Irving Kershner wanted to show us together at that time, and that's also when, you know, I find out that OCP has turned my husband into a cyborg, and I go and visit him, and then that's it. So.
The curious thing is, when you look at everybody who, I mean, because they recast Murphy for RoboCop 3, and you mentioned Kershner directed 2,
yes.
But you're the only person to have acted in all 3 of the feature RoboCop films.
I know, it's a great trivia question, isn't it?
I have won some points off of that.
Yes,
it's true.
Good. Yeah, it's they just kept inviting me back, and I kept going because it was great and it was fun. There was no reason not to do it. So.
What do you remember about working with Paul Verhoeven?
Oh gosh, he was just great. He was very creative, and kind of quirky and funny, but I was only with him maybe just a couple of days, so I didn't have the time that Peter had with him. So Peter would probably be, a better person to talk to about that.
Well, we'll drag you here on the couch here in a little bit. But we're talking to you, Angie.
Yes.
I don't care what Peter thinks right now.
Right.
When we're getting the big cast and crew together, and there were a lot of people who worked in Dallas and got bit parts. I was an extra in a couple of them as well.
Yeah.
I was a homeless guy in one, and
Right,
a very young guy. I mean, good God, I was in my teens, but I snuck on set and they let me in.
Well, how fun!
But there were
That's
so many people who got their first acting credit. And of course IMDb didn't exist back then.
Right. Yeah.
But as somebody who had been in the business for about 4 or 5 years, you're looking at this going, all right, the sky's the limit from here. It has to be.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just thought of it as, well, this is just another little part I'm doing in another film that I don't know much about, and then it became popular, but it was a genre, and it, and I remained in Dallas. I did go to LA to do a little work, and when I was booked out there, but never to live, and then also in New York too. But I never really thought of, I don't know, I never really thought of it in that way, and but anything can happen too. So you never know what's going to happen in a business like this. And so now with the talk of doing a reboot.
Yes. Do we have to mention that, really? Really?
Sorry. Well, it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, if some fans are true to the original, and I know it'll be fun to see all that happening.
Well, I tell you what, we'll go see the movie together, and I'll try not to sneer very much, and you can try not to throw popcorn at your on-screen replacement. How about that?
That's okay. It's a date.
Fabulous.
We will do that.
The lovely Angie Bolling. Again, the 25th anniversary of Robocop is tonight at the Texas Theater. Tickets are available at dallasfilm.org. You can come hang out with the cast and the crew. Angie, good God, it's going to be a really
It'll
fun
be really
time for
fun.
all of us.
A lot of the cast and crew will be there, and we're all having a dinner at the Dallas City Hall right before we hit the red carpet at the Texas Theater at 6:30.
And then there's the gala party after at the Kessler Theater right down the street. Outstanding.
So,
You're watching continuing coverage of the 2012 Dallas International Film Festival. More to come right here at livestream.com and dallasfilm.org.